Welcome back, Careblazer. Dr. Natalie here, and today we are going to be talking about key differences between symptoms of maybe normal aging versus possible dementia. We're going to cover 5 key categories. As we know, people without dementia sometimes forget things from time to time, sometimes might not be able to recall a word. It doesn't mean they have dementia. So we're going to run through 5 key categories and go over specific symptoms of what it would look like for potential just normal aging, normal challenges that any of us could have versus, oh, this is a sign for concern for possible dementia and you'd want to get it checked out. Okay, so let's dive in. We're going to start first with memory loss. In normal aging, it is completely okay to forget the name of somebody from time to time, or maybe even forget an appointment that you had, but then remember it later. In potential dementia, somebody will forget important dates, important appointments, forget recently learned information, and maybe ask for the same information repeatedly. Here's a key difference. In normal aging, somebody might forget details of a conversation that they had, but in potential dementia, somebody might forget that they even had the conversation. Okay, let's move to problem-solving abilities. It's normal, would be considered normal aging, if somebody every now and then made a mistake following a recipe or even managing finances. But in potential dementia, a person has significant struggles being able to solve problems and plan and follow recipes and even keep track of monthly bills. The level of impairment is significant. There's a bigger level of struggle there. Here's a key difference in the way you can think about it. In normal aging, you might begin to slow down a bit as you are managing finances and following a recipe. But in potential dementia, it can make familiar tasks that you've done your whole life start to feel like brand new challenges. Okay, so let's talk about completing familiar tasks. With normal aging, sometimes the person will need help completing complex tasks or even being able to follow along with new technology. Totally normal. Potential dementia would look like somebody struggling to complete routine tasks at home, at work, or even with their hobbies, things that they've done for a long time, they're starting to struggle with. Here's a key difference in how you can think about it. In normal aging, let's say somebody might need some help setting up their new smartphone. But in dementia, the person might need help starting to use a familiar appliance like a microwave. Okay, let's move on to confusion with time and place. In normal aging, it's okay to get confused about the day of the week every now and then, but then remembering it later. In potential dementia, a person is losing track of dates, seasons, the passage of time. They sometimes forget even where they are or how they got there. So a key difference here when it comes to dates, time, and place is that in normal aging, somebody might have to pause and think a little bit to remember the date. But in potential dementia, somebody might forget the whole season of what it is or even their location. That's why in a lot of those brief screening measures, the doctor might ask, where are you right now? What season is it? That's what they're looking for there. Okay, let's talk about changes in mood and behavior. In normal aging, it's normal for somebody to maybe get irritable when there is a disruption or a change in their regular routine. In potential dementia, there's more of a significant mood swing, and the person can become easily upset, suspicious, depressed, especially if they're in an unfamiliar situation. So a key difference here would be that in normal aging, we all have our off days where we might be a little bit more irritable or not quite ourselves. But in dementia, it can cause dramatic mood swings that seem out of character for the person and seem out of proportion for what the situation is that they're facing. Okay, so remember, Careblazer, these are just general guidelines. Everybody's unique. Symptoms are different. That's why we always want to get a full evaluation whenever we start to have concerns. Just because you might be showing one of the signs in the potential dementia category I shared here in this video, it doesn't mean you have dementia necessarily. There's also so many other health factors that can cause some of these symptoms. It's not just dementia, so that's why a full evaluation is also important. Things like medication side effects, dehydration, infections, depression, poor hearing, low vitamin levels, all of these things can look like dementia. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have dementia if you've noticed these symptoms, but I do hope these 5 key categories can help you differentiate a little bit that, even when we have normal brains, we aren't diagnosed with dementia, we are still going to have our off days and moments where we forget things or we forget the time or we forget an appointment. It's nothing to be alarmed about. One of the key things to keep in mind, like let's say you're facing a symptom that wasn't included, it wasn't one of these 5 symptoms I talked about. One of the things to keep in mind is to look for like the level of disruption to your life that that symptom is bringing. The more significant the symptom is disrupting your ability to get through your day, the more concerning it is, and definitely bring it up with your healthcare provider. Okay, so if this video helped you differentiate a little bit between normal aging and dementia, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the red subscribe button if you haven't already. It really is helpful for other caregivers out there in the world looking for help right now, and they don't know about this channel and they don't know where to turn. So when you do that, it communicates to YouTube that other people similar to you find this video helpful, and YouTube will go out there and put my video in front of them so that they can choose to watch if they like. I really appreciate it. Also, I know this video is more educational, informative, but if you're somebody who's really wanting more of that community support and more personalized attention and a place to get feedback and guidance and questions on some of your most difficult dementia caregiving situations, I'd really encourage you to check out our Care Collective program, where we do weekly expert session Q&As, weekly support groups, a whole library of private trainings ranging from everything on bathing and toileting to building a better relationship and feeling better. It's all inside of the Care Collective, and there's a link below this video that you can click on to learn more. I'm sending you so much love, and I will be back next week with a brand new video. Bye.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.